Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. I'm Tommy C, and this is Shot from the Point News. Hey, what's going on? Just a little update before we get into this video. I might roll it back a little this weekend. I know the last 2 weekends, I've been pretty prolific, and you guys, the response has been absolutely amazing. I love the growth of the channel. My daughter's here this weekend. It's my visitation weekend, so if there's a head explosion story that's got to get out there, we're going to get it up. But maybe middle upper to upper lower range stories, we might leave them off. I wanted to do something on Tfue today. I didn't really get a chance. I would say that was an upper lower. So I do apologize with that. But if there's something ahead exploding, certainly if it has something to do with Onision, we'll get it out as soon as possible. I hope you guys give me a break, but we'll definitely be getting content out the next couple of days. Now, Onision put out a video called Just Questions, and they are questions for Mr. Chris Hansen. So what I decided to do is we're going to go over some of what I think is the most important questions, or something that I found Onision to say that is rather interesting, and we'll do a little commentary on that. And I will be expecting a copyright claim or a strike, even though it's fair use, while I watch him talk about how much he knows the law. So stick around. That's what we're going to do. Jump cut, shirt change. Sorry, it's hot. I think my wife turned on the heat, so I had to jump cut, shirt change. Okay, first thing we're going over is Onision puts up a really, really great defense about some of Chris Hansen's investigation techniques. Yeah, no. He does the YouTuber special. He says Chris Hansen's obsessed.
I think I've ever seen in my life is watch a 60-year-old man obsess over someone online who did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I just had to put this in because it's my favorite. Whenever I've criticized YouTubers, when they don't have an answer, the best thing to do is, I've done nothing wrong. You have the psychological condition known as obsession. Well, I mean, I think technically anybody could be, even if you use obsession in a casual way, obsessed when they're investigating somebody. But I just had to point that out. But he goes on to talk about he goes on to talk about what we can assume is Mike Morse, and the most disturbing thing he's ever seen in his entire life.
You, Chris Hansen, for some reason found it appropriate to show up to my house, which is one of the most psychotic things I've ever seen in my life.
Psychotic.
You and 6 grown men. One of them went to court last year. I think it was last year, if you just look up his name, for sexual assault.
Okay, first things first. What a privileged life you had. The most psychotic, most disturbing thing you've ever seen in your life for reporters on your doorstep, knocking on the door, asking you for a question. Now, this is commonly done to Hollywood celebrities. This is commonly done to, I don't know, people that are under investigation. This is commonly done to people that are scammers. You see this all the time in New York. They have like Scam Busters on Channel 4 or some crap like that. And they knock on your door and they say, "Sure, did you rip off such and such?" It happens all the time. I don't know why that would be the most disturbing, most psychotic thing that you ever seen. It must be nice being that sheltered. Okay, then we go on to the second half of the video where he mentions what we can only assume to be Mike Morse, the lawyer, and if I had to guess, he left the name out because Mike could probably sue him if he got it wrong. And why the optics aren't great. Mike has not been convicted of anything. And from what I understand, this particular court battle it's not criminal. So he has never been arrested for any kind of criminal sexual assault charge. This is civil. So one of these civil cases was dismissed because of perjury. That does not give any of the other cases any less or more merits, but it does, like, you know, we're not talking about somebody that's ever going to go on the list, on the what do they call that? The perverts list? I don't know, whatever it's called in your city. Sexual predator list, Megan's Law, Amy's Law, anything like that. He won't be going on there no matter what, because this isn't a criminal case. And it, of course, begs the question, what does it matter? What does it matter? What if the cameraman that came to your house was, did a 15-year stint for attempted murder? That doesn't change whether you accepted child porn, which is alleged, and it doesn't accept whether you slept with somebody underage, which is alleged.
Because it doesn't seem that you're paying the victims, right? Because that would be a conflict of interest. So where's this money going? Is it going into according to the news, is it $60,000 in debt to American Express? You got evicted from your home last year, right? Was it last year? And that was like from over $1 million house. and you had you're like dating or married to a woman who's, was it 30 years younger than you, 20 years younger than you, something like that?
Good job, Chris. All right.
And it's weird because you seem to be this person who likes to pretend that you're against older men taking advantage of younger women. Yet...
So so Chris is, or so Onision's actually going to compare a relationship between a 60-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman as someone who's taking underage, and assuming, so I guess the 30-year-old women have no agency. I guess she didn't want to date the 30-year-old man. That's absolutely hysterical. And like most of these charges, it has nothing to do with his innocence, rather Hansen's guilt. Hansen's not under investigation for sleeping with underage kids. You are. Hansen's not under investigation for accepting or having possession of child pornography. You are. Doesn't matter if it's $60,000 debt. Doesn't matter if it's $1 million debt. It's completely and totally irrelevant. Chris doesn't have to answer these questions because it doesn't change your investigation. James, Gregory, Onision, Jackson, whatever you're calling yourself, Banana Boy, you're under investigation. So this is just deflection. You're obsessed. Your friend has a lawsuit. I even heard one that was good. Apparently, the cop that talked to Chris Hansen on the last episode of Have a Seat, Chris Rants, his son was convicted of rape. His son was convicted of rape. So, I mean, that pops up at him to try to turn this into a circus, this investigation into a circus. But again, that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if he got away with murder. Murder. And I do want to add it was statutory rape, and the victim said it was consensual, but it was still disgusting nonetheless. And the guy's lucky he only got some probation. But I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if his son committed murder. I mean, the spokesperson of the police department, cop, his son did something wrong. That doesn't clear Onision. So these questions really don't have. They're not questions of Chris. They're questions of investigation. Hey, here would be a better question. What do you have on me? Show it, Chris. What do you have? All these victims you've interviewed, everything. What do you have that mildly resembles a statutory crime? Now that's what I would do in your position. But no, you're bringing up all this cheat, like he owes $60,000 debt, like because he's dating a woman that's 30 years old or 35, 40 years old. That doesn't change your position because none of that is legal, not a thing, especially if he pays off his debt. So really, like you don't pay your bills on time. I'm innocent of sleeping with underage girls because you didn't pay your bills? Give me a break.
As I understand, you going to jail and you having enormous debt to American Express and to the person you had to sell, I guess, your boat for to pay back, and your eviction and so forth. I just feel like those are maybe things that you should talk about how your whole...
Why would you talk? That's the Chris Hansen investigation. By the way, he was acquitted of the charges. That's the Chris Hansen investigation. That's not... This is the Onision investigation.
And that the only thing that you have going for you is a bullshit case against a YouTuber who the worst thing he did was fucked an 18-year-old. Yikes, bro. But yeah, to everybody else, there's more videos coming and whatnot.
Now, let me. I have to stick up for him a little bit here. If that is the case, if he fucked an 18-year-old, like he says, all right, he's off the hook. That's it. But you know what else this investigation brought us? It brought mainstream attention that you took that girl under your wing as a guardian, waited till she's 18 so you could avoid legal prosecution, and you took advantage of her. It might be legal, but you know what? If no charges come and a wider audience knows that and knows who you are, and it has worked because I've seen your views, that's fantastic news. It's fantastic news. Because that's the truth then. And you didn't commit a crime. And then I guess you could all move on. But the fact that the world knows that is excellent, and know to keep their kids away from you and know to stay away from you, because what kind of human being would take in a little girl, pretend to be their guardian, pretend to save them from their horrible situation at home. And as soon as they became the age of consent, start a sexual relationship. Nobody in their right mind wouldn't think that was planned all along. And if that was, it might be legal. There's got to be a cutoff point for consent, obviously. But you're a maniac. That's what it means. It means you're a maniac. This one's for my personal entertainment, and there's something to point out a pattern in his behavior, trying to, maintain control. It's too funny.
See what happens with that no trespassing thing. It is illegal to be within 50 feet of no trespassing signs, which you and your whole crew did, so I guess all y'all might be going to jail.
Yeah.
We'll see. And, that's an actual crime. I don't know if you know the difference between real crimes and made up bullshit, but real crimes are where you actually violate the law and then you get arrested for it.
Then why weren't they arrested? The police were there. You called the police. So if there's some magical violation here of the magical sign that Billy the Fridge stood next to, how come they weren't arrested? How come they weren't indicted for trespassing? I was a kid, and there was this guy down the street from me, and he told me to say this sign. And he had it look real official looking and everything. And this sign right here, if you go back, you can be fined up to $10,000 if anybody goes on my property. I remember some cop told me he's utter bullshit. He made it up, and it's kind of an urban legend throughout the neighborhood for 3 years. I wonder if that's a similar sign. Why wasn't he arrested if that's the case? Well, he might have a First Amendment argument. He's practicing journalism. And there's nothing strange and unusual, no matter what word, like obsession, you put in front of it, that will change that. Knocking on your door and saying, sir, would you like to answer some questions? No. Okay. That's it. And if he was if he crossed the magical boundary in Onision land over there, well, the police were on the scene. They didn't arrest him. Oh, maybe they just have to get you. Doesn't make any sense. This is the same crap he pulled with Onision. You get the order of protection because it's the only thing he can muster to seem like he's in control. He's constantly making legal threats that he can't follow through on. And we know he's broke because he destroyed his wetlands in his backyard. So he does this to Repsion. He drags him to court and says he drops the thing because he knows he's going to lose. He drops it before he can lose to Onision, or excuse me, Repsion, and says he's going to follow it up with a better course of action that was recommended by a lawyer that didn't show up in the courtroom for the order of protection. How much you want to bet that's bullshit? How much you want to bet that he was just salvaging some kind of dignity there? That he has no money to sue Repsion. And that's what I mean with the magical sign. Woohoo! The magical trespassing sign. Oh, and just for some reason the cops forgot. Yes. I'm sure the FBI is going to break him in. He's crossed state lines now. Now it's their territory for your silly sign. Get out of here. That's all I got for you today. Remember, I might not be pumping out that many videos because I got my daughter here. You understand that. And I'm gonna say something very important, and I'm gonna do something that Onision did not do for Chris Hansen nor Mike Morse. I'm gonna say it right now. Onision is absolutely, I mean this, innocent until proven guilty. This is an ongoing investigation. It's a journalistic investigation. We are aware of some criminal investigations, and we're all gonna have to deal with it if it doesn't bear any fruit. I would not agree, and I would defend Onision if it is found that he did not commit a statute crime, either federally or in the state of Washington. And I mean that. After a while, I'll be like, "Hey, Auntie, it's over. They didn't find anything." But we're not there yet, and I want to see these investigations come to conclusions. But he is innocent until proven guilty. I wish he offered that to Hansen and Morse.